Britain. Watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock, only on GB News.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Lovely to see you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Hello. Oh, well, what a night for it, eh? It's 9 p.m. I'm Patrick Christys. Tonight.
I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what?
Have we let our veterans down? Was this version of Britain worth fighting for? What do you think? Do you think this version of Britain was worth fighting for, everybody? What do you reckon? A bit of a mixed bag? Oof, OK. All right, well, I'm looking forward to getting so lively tonight, aren't I? And...
If anything happens, protection.
Well, good news. The Algerian sex offender has been caught, so that's nice. Yeah. Bad news is that there's now 4 others on the run. But anyway, whatever. But surely this bloke has to go. Any excuse. Also tonight...
So the UK is doubling down on the fight against climate change.
Who here cares about the climate conference? No. OK, good. Do you remember when this was a dangerous conspiracy theory?
I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law.
I want to go to Sharia law. OK, well, step forward. Good Morning Britain presenter, Adil Ray.
Well, good morning, Smoothies. How are you? Adil Ray here.
Yes, he's been praising Sharia law on social media, which is remarkable, isn't it? And why did police let the pro-Palestine mob protest right outside that football game? And...
Every match that the barbaric Israeli establishment or their teams are at, we will be at. Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
All right, OK, and of course we're going to be talking about more revelations coming out at the BBC. But on my panel tonight, we have got broadcasting royalty, Christo Fufas. We have got a journalist and broadcaster, Linda Jubilee. And we've got everyone's favourite trade unionist, political commentator, Andy Twelve. It's a tough one tonight. But we do have a very, very special panellist. They've been away for a little while, but they're back by popular demand. It's Emily Carver. Yes. Oh, there we go. Yes, great to have you back. Great to have you back. All right, OK, well, get ready, Britain. Here we go. If Adil Ray likes Sharia law so much, why doesn't he move to a Sharia country? Next.
Patrick, thank you very much. The top stories. A foreign sex offender freed in error from Wandsworth prison has been re-arrested. Rahim Kadur Sharif, a 24-year-old Algerian national, was mistakenly released from HMP Wandsworth in South London on the 29th of October. Rahim Kadur Sharif had been convicted in November last year of indecent exposure relating to an incident in March of that year. Well, ITV News has said this evening that there are reportedly currently 4 more live cases of prisoners being sought by the authorities in England and Wales after being released in error. Earlier today, Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy said he's ordered new tough release checks, commissioned an independent investigation into systemic failures and begun overhauling archaic paper-based systems still used in some prisons. However, Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch told GB News she is not confident the streets are safe.
Yes, it's complete nonsense. They blame everybody else except themselves. They are in charge right now. If someone was released last week by accident, it's their fault. It's not the fault of the people who were there 2 years ago. And right now, what I actually want to see is this man deported. We're spending too much money keeping foreign prisoners in our jails. Our party's policy now is just deport all foreign criminals. No ifs, no buts.
GB News can reveal that more than 1,100 small boat migrants have crossed the English Channel since yesterday morning. It takes the total for the year so far to 38,000. Throughout yesterday, 610 migrants had arrived in UK waters and were taken to Border Force Processing Centre at Dover Harbour. According to GB News provisional figures, 520 arrived today. It takes the figure since yesterday morning to 1,130. Elsewhere, 4 Labour MPs have had the whip restored. Neil Duncan-Jordan, Chris Hinchcliffe, Brian Leishman and Rachel Maskell will no longer sit as independents in the Commons following a review of their recent conduct, Labour sources have said this evening. The 4 MPs had on several occasions rebelled against the government in the run-up to their suspension. Their most significant rebellion was that against welfare reforms being spearheaded by ministers, which the MPs feared would harm people claiming disability benefits. More than 2,000 flights in the US are cancelled or delayed after airlines were told to cut traffic during the government shutdown. Domestic flights at 40 of the country's busiest airports are affected. Airports have been grappling with air traffic controller shortages who are either calling in sick or taking side jobs as they work without pay during the federal government shutdown. The Federal Aviation Administration warns up to 4,000 flights per day could be affected. And finally, Nobel Prize-winning American scientist James Watson has died at the age of 97. His co-discovery of the structure of DNA, the double helix shape, opened the door to help explain how DNA replicates and carries genetic information, setting the stage for rapid advances in molecular biology. But his honorary titles were stripped in 2019 after he repeated comments about race and intelligence. And those are the latest headlines for now. More from me in an hour.
Tune into GB News Radio wherever you are. Online, on DAB digital radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Well, welcome along, everybody. Thank you so much to everybody who's made the trip. We've got people from Freckleton, got people from all over. There you are, early shout-out. All right, so, do you remember when we were told this was a dangerous conspiracy theory?
I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law.
Well, step forward. Good Morning Britain host Adil Ray. He posted this on social media yesterday. Some say Mamdani, who's the new mayor of New York, may implement Sharia law. He might. The heart of Sharia is social justice, welfare, fairness, charity and cohesion. Most Muslim countries operate a hybrid of Sharia and civil law, are slowly reforming and abandoning unethical practices, despite the West's portrayal. Gosh, you know what? Adil Ray's changed his tune, hasn't he? Remember now, there's always a tweet. There's always a tweet. Here it is. He says, the EDL are about as insignificant as those Muslims who call for Sharia law. I have never heard of any of them. Well, maybe Adil needs to look a bit harder, because there was actually a group called Sharia for UK and Islam for UK, and it was one of many front organisations used by the radical Islamist network Al-Majroon, and that was in the United Kingdom. The group was led by the extremist preacher Anjem Chowdhury and advocated for the implementation of Sharia law right across the UK. They actually called for various things. One, capital punishment. They explicitly called for the death penalty for offences such as leaving Islam and also adultery. By the way, they wanted to kill you by stoning, in case you're wondering. Physical punishments. They advocated for severe physical punishments, such as flogging or lashing for offences like drinking alcohol. They also supported punishments like chopping people's limbs off for theft. Segregation of the sexes. You see, tonight we've got a wonderfully mixed audience, not under the Sharia, though, of course. Establish a caliphate as well, so that's nice, just to round it off. And actually, polling data from 2024 revealed that 32% of British Muslims favour the implementation of Sharia law in the UK. Well, Adil Ray then doubled down. He said, I'm not actually suggesting that Mamdani would implement Sharia law, but many of the issues he campaigned for are also some of the positive values of Sharia that Muslims try to live by. OK, some countries with Sharia law, then. So we've got Afghanistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Sudan and Yemen. Do we think that Adil might want to leave his comfortable London TV studio to go to live in any of those countries? I'm not really sure he will. Another country, of course, is Nigeria. 12 northern states have just started implementing Sharia law. What else is happening in Nigeria, Adil? Oh, yeah, there are reports of Christians being slaughtered en masse. Now, Adil Ray might claim that true Sharia has never actually been tried. You know, like what communists say about their ideology. Well, given the amount of child rape, cousin marriage, female genital mutilation, stonings, beheadings, chopping off of limbs, persecution of gay people and terrorism in those countries, I think where it has been tried, I think we might swerve it over here, thanks, Adil. But he's a presenter on ITV's Good Morning Britain. The same programme, well, this happened to Piers Morgan, didn't it?
Continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, but not my own stuff.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
Well, he left because he offended Meghan Markle. And reportedly, ITV were worried about markets and advertising implications, commercial implications, because of what he said. But it seems that Adil Ray can try and promote Sharia law, and he just keeps his job. No commercial pressure there, no pushback, no lefties kicking off, no crisis meetings with ITV execs. What a strange, strange country we live in. I'm going to get the views of my panel and then we'll go to the audience. Well, Emily, welcome back. Let's talk about Sharia law. So, what do you make of the comment that Adil Ray made on social media?
I'm absolutely shocked when I saw it on Twitter, that he would say that so brazenly on Twitter, and I knew it was going to go viral. Of course, I think I quote-tweeted it saying, sorry, what? Because why on earth would a Good Morning Britain presenter decide to make Sharia law sound kind of fluffy? Oh, don't worry, it works alongside lovely laws that we have over here. It's not a problem if it happens in New York. Don't worry, don't worry. Talking about social justice at the heart of Sharia, welfare, fairness, charity and cohesion. OK, should we take Adil Ray's word for it, or should we have a look at some of those countries that you listed so carefully there, where it's actually working in practice, and see what it's like for women and any minorities, let's say?
Christo, your views?
I think that it would be interesting if we thought about the new show that they're going to be bringing to ITV, actually.
Good, yeah.
It's going to be called Sharia Morning Britain. It's going to be presented by Adil Ray, and this is an exclusive, actually, that I'm bringing you here. I didn't think you knew this. It's going to be presented by Adil Ray and Kate Garraway. Unfortunately, if Kate Garraway is late for the news, she will be beheaded. And all stoned to death. But other than that, it's hoping to be an absolute success. I mean, I find this such a double standard, because if someone, I mean, in a more serious note, if someone went on television and said, right, I would like to advocate for a really extreme form of Christianity where no other religion would be allowed, people would be rightly up in arms, because we are a tolerant nation. However, when it works the other way, there doesn't seem to be any pushback. And to be honest, when you look at the traits, as you have brilliantly outlined, of many of the countries that have Sharia, what a really weird hill for Adil Ray to die on. And so, you know, you can get stoned to death for apostasy, leaving Islam. If you're a woman that's raped, you need to have 4 men that can verify that you were raped, and then you'll be done for adultery anyway. You could be beheaded. I mean, I would be hanging from a rope at the moment. I mean, I'd have probably enjoyed some of the segregation before then, but after that, yeah, I could see the value of the segregation thing, but then after that, I would be hanging from the gallows. It is absolutely bizarre. And I'm afraid, like I said, it's a complete double standard, because if any of us made the same point in the opposite way, we would be cancelled.
We'll go to Andy, then we'll see if anyone in the audience has got a question after that. So go on, mate. What would you like to say? You going into bat for Sharia law?
No, I don't think I am, to be honest. I think Ofcom compliance is crying on the phone now. I think it's silly to say that Zoran Memdani was elected on Sharia values. I think, you know, of those Abrahamic religions, lots of them have common values of giving to charity, about looking after your neighbour. That can be said of, I think, almost every religion. But Zoran was elected on democratic socialism. That was the platform on which he ran. I don't think he was elected on any kind of Sharia law, and I don't think he'll ever put in Sharia law into New York. I don't think we'll see, you know, the Islamic Caliphate of New York anytime soon, sadly. Well, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
God, that went down poorly, didn't it? Oh, God. I won't make that joke again.
I could have told you that, mate. It's actually not a very Sharia-compliant audience here. Although, of course, you know, look, it's obviously it's one of those stories about if you don't laugh, you'll cry. But I mean, we do have 85 Sharia courts in this country.
Yeah.
We are the Western capital for Sharia courts. Before we go to you, Linda, if that's all right, I'll just open it up to the audience now. There's a couple of people with microphones. I think there's a gentleman on the front row here. Are you all right, mate? What would you like to say about this topic? Thank you for coming.
I don't think that they should be bringing their laws into this country. But the problem is the Prime Minister, sad bloke he is, he is so, like, for everybody else except for the British population and the British community and everything like that.
Okay.
Do you think he'd bow down to that and allow Sharia law to come into the country?
Do we think the Prime Minister would allow it? Well, I mean, technically... Can I just ask you a question? I hope you don't mind me asking. You've got a symbol on your shirt there. Is it some kind of military symbol?
Yeah, it's British Army. Yeah, I'm a soldier.
Well, good luck. We will ask you a question, but I would like to hear from you probably at the 10 p.m. segment, because we're talking about whether or not, you know, Britain was worth fighting for, etc. So I'd love to hear from you then as well. Linda, what do you think about, you know, whether or not the Prime Minister would be willing to essentially, I mean, he's not doing anything about the Sharia courts at the moment, for example.
Well, we've already got them, as you say, we've got 85 Sharia law courts. I can't understand why we have those. Because we've got laws in this country, we don't need another set of laws from another culture, who are actually, if you look at that list of countries, people are leaving those countries to come here. That's the whole point. Look at Sharia law in those countries. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Sudan, Afghanistan. It was only in 2016 that they stoned a woman to death in a public square without a trial in Afghanistan. So I think we've got to be very careful about any further moves to adopt Sharia law, because although Adil Ray says that, yeah, it works as a great hybrid system in some Muslim countries, it doesn't in countries like Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's off with your head if you do anything remotely difficult.
There's a wider point which I was alluding to as well, which is I'm always fascinated by this, like the commercial issues of TV channels, right? So it was deemed so unpalatable for Piers Morgan to say certain things about Meghan Markle and then push back on it. I reckon, like, the overwhelming majority of the British public agree with him that they don't particularly like her and they think maybe she's a bit of a grifter, which she would deny. But for Adil Ray, to say, basically do a puff piece for Sharia law, that's fine. No, there'll be no meetings with ITV executives going, how the heck do we sort this problem out, will there?
And it's so wonderful that he talks about those sort of moral boundaries that he wanted to really champion around Sharia law, because, well, we've all seen how many ITV daytime presenters live by moral boundaries, haven't we?
Yes, OK. Well, there we go, of course, not naming any names.
No, I was just talking generally.
What do you think of that? I mean, is it to not say something about Britain where it's basically OK to gently nudge people potentially towards Sharia law, but it's not really OK to say things like stop the boats or I don't like Meghan Markle?
Yeah, because I imagine that if, you know, some of the junior executives, some of the junior producers got together and said, you know what, we don't like Adil Ray saying these types of things, they'd probably worry that they'd be called racist or Islamophobic or something ridiculous like that. So even if you were deeply offended by Adil Ray's comments, you wouldn't dare probably go to HR about it and say, actually, I'm a bit worried about what he's saying here. Sharia law, isn't that where women are beheaded for adultery or where women are only worth half a man's testimony, etc., etc.? They just wouldn't, would they?
To come back to the chapter...
Maybe they will. Maybe it will be proven wrong.
But I think, actually, that is the story here, though. I mean, if Adil Ray wants to say this, you know, I don't like it, I'm not, you know, championing it, but he actually has the right to say it. Free speech is hearing things you don't like. I think the thing that annoys us is the double standard. If someone... Because there's such a sensitivity on the other side, as you point out, about Meghan and all these things, and that, it's the double standard that drives people mad, I
saw a microphone being passed around. Does someone else want to say something on this? It's fine if not. I know it's quite a controversial topic. Have you got the mic? He's got the mic. He's ready to go. He's locked and loaded. Come on. Let's be having you.
I know this is on Sharia law, but Adil Ray said something, nothing will happen. What about Ryland when he made his comments politically on live TV? What happened to him? Yeah? And as you said, Christo, double standards. Let's see if double standards really are there now.
And you're
challenging.
You're absolutely right, because also Ryland wasn't giving his own opinion. He was saying, quite rightly, there are some people that think it's unfair. He was doing his job as a broadcaster and putting across both sides. Adil Ray was actually giving his opinion, and it's apparently fine.
Exactly. All right, guys, we're gonna steam on and just press ahead with this. I think I've got some kind of right reply from ITV and indeed Adil Ray. GB News have contacted both ITV and Adil Ray's representatives. Oh, good.
Adil Ray OBE.
OK.
I think that's important to the story, is it not?
OK, she's back, isn't she? Oh, she's back.
Get enough of this at home.
Mr. Sharia over here.
Exactly,
We're awaiting a response. Do I have to read that out as well? No? OK, good. OK, lovely stuff. All right, we've got loads more coming your way, including a couple of good topics. I don't think anyone here particularly cares about COP, do they? But our Prime Minister does. We're going to talk about the never-ending virtue signalling that's taking place in Brazil. But before that, I couldn't let it get going without telling you about the latest festive Great British giveaway, everybody. Basically, it's 40 grand in cash. Here's how you can win it.
We're giving you the chance to win your entire Christmas this year paid for by us. First, we'll give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash so you can have a brilliant new year. Then we'll give you a further £10,000 cash to spend on all your Christmas presents, the decorations, even the tree. Christmas lunch, that's on us too, with £1,000 in shopping vouchers to spend at your favourite supermarket. Finally, a GB News Christmas goodie bag. And the best news? You'll get it all in time for the big day. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB17 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 28th of November. The winner may be contacted live on GB News, week commencing the 8th of December. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
OK, loads coming your way. We've got Is the BBC in Crisis? But first...
So the UK is doubling down on the fight against climate change.
If you're fed up of multi-millionaire climate hypocrites, you're going to want to watch this. Next.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock, only on GB News.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, DC.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you very much. Now, there is something, just before we do our next topic about COP, there is something that we would like to address, wouldn't we, Christo?
Oh, are you talking about the dressing?
What's going on your head, yeah.
Basically,
yeah.
OK.
I think we were, yep.
I was on Good Morning Britain and they attempted to behead me. I made a comment that wasn't liked in a debate, and before I knew it... No, OK, I have... Is that wrong? Are we still on air? Good.
Yeah,
I have decided to have a cosmetic treatment, so I had a hair transplant. OK, I've had a hair transplant. Thank you.
I told you they'd be supportive of it.
Yeah, they're
no point trying to hide it, mate. You've got a surgical dressing on the back of your head.
They're not supportive on your say.
OK.
Yeah, so, yes, I mean, it's fine. You know, I'm not sensitive about it. I've not got a big birthday coming up. It's absolutely fine. I'm not sensitive about it, OK?
If you want to get in touch, by the way, sorry, it's gbnews.com/your-say. So just make sure... No, seriously, it's all about you, this. So I just want you to... As you look at Christo's face and head here, I just want you to remember you can get in touch and comment, right, on that link below there. It's gbnews.com/your-say.
Can we do a poll on would you go on national television the day after you had a hair transplant? Question mark.
We'll see if we get a poll running on it. But anyway, I think it's very brave. I think it's very brave. So,
very brave.
That's fine. We can move on.
No, well done. Right, okay. Right, let's go back to more serious matters.
Yes.
Now, convicts have been mistakenly released from prison are roaming the streets of Britain. But where is our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer? Oh, he's thousands of miles away, deep in the Brazilian rainforest, attending the COP30 climate summit. Today, he even posted this.
Today is the first day of COP, and the UK is really stepping up here. I'm here as Prime Minister, we've got the Prince of Wales here, and what we're determined to show is that climate change is for real, it impacts all of us. You may remember the flooding in Sussex that we had this year, also the wildfires in Scotland. So it impacts us all, we've got to act, we've got to show leadership.
It's just blamed, what was it, flooding in, was it Sussex or somewhere, he said, and wildfires in Scotland on climate change, which is why he needed to take a gas-guzzling jet all the way to Brazil to talk about it. But Keir Starmer actually champions the net zero agenda, doesn't he, on the world stage? But this is his 40th foreign trip in 16 months. We've got a little compilation for you. Rumours are he's still buzzing after that one with Macron in the train carriage. Is this really what we want our Prime Minister to be doing? Linda, I'll start with you, if you don't mind. So, what's that?
Yes, if he achieves something.
If he achieves something, all right, we'll go. Get this man a microphone. Right, go on, Linda. What do you say about the relentless net zero stuff?
Oh God, I think that the whole conference is largely a waste of time because China, India, Brazil and the US are not represented there, and they represent 51% of the actual emissions, and they're not taking part. The other point is that the fossil fuel lobbyists do take part, and they're not really helping much. So I think that while I agree that there should be some sort of consensus and some sort of conference about the climate, because, you know, I've got 3 kids who care about it, I'm sure you know people, I'm sure you care about it. I don't think this is really working at the moment. If something's not working, we're not living in a climate where we can afford to spend that amount of money and waste that amount of their air miles actually propping up that conference when we might need to find an alternative.
OK. All right. There is a gentleman with a microphone. We're getting bang for our buck from you tonight, sir. If there's anyone else who wants to make a point, including you at the back, sir, just wave your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. What do you want to say?
Just want to add to what Linda has just basically said. Top 4 are not there. Why are they not there? Yet UK are 17th in the list. We do less than 1% of carbon emissions.
I think
it's basically COP30 is a no COP. Why is there basically a 4-lane highway being built to make that happen? That's 10,000 acres of forestry. Forget the accommodation, the flights, the other travelling, food, whatever. It's all going to go to waste. And there's no result.
I think it makes Keir Starmer and other minor leaders feel like a big balls billy on the grand stage, on the international stage. It's much easier to swan off and get nice pictures taken, walk through the Amazon rainforest with a video camera and for your TikTok feed and whatever, than it is to sort out really tough domestic issues here at home. And it is a farce, isn't it, when we've got how many sex offenders on the loose? We don't know where they are.
In fairness, we're not expecting the Prime Minister to be chasing the sex offenders down through the streets of Birmingham or London.
We might like to be reassured.
Well, I mean, the Justice Secretary's made a statement, the Home Secretary's made a statement. Shabana Mahmood. Shabana Mahmood, do we not... Listen, I think it's silly to think that Big Keir will be there with the Metropolitan Police chasing them through the streets of Brixton or wherever.
Come on. As a left-winger, you can't be too impressed by this COP thing. It's just a chance for big corporates to pat themselves on the back.
I agree. I hate big corporates.
Haven't they cut down 100,000 trees to make a road for this COP conference?
It's a talk fest. Yeah. It's just a glorified talk fest.
And so Ed Miliband sent a member of his staff to go and check out a 4-star hotel for him to stay at over there. He sent it out months ago, so he flew him out there, flew him back. Ed Miliband's flown out, separate flight to the Prime Minister. He's flown out. Sadiq Khan's flown out. Everyone's just got... It's just...
Is the Mayor of Yorkshire there?
The Mayor of West Yorkshire.
Tracy Brayburn is there.
The Mayor of West Yorkshire is currently in the Brazilian rainforest trying to sort out... What are we doing? It's nuts, Christo.
Yeah, it is. I'm so sick of these absolute morons because, you know, what's so annoying about all of this is they all fly there on their private jets or in their first-class flights. They're complete and utter hypocrites. You know, meanwhile, Auntie Doris with her, like, 20-year-old Ford Fiesta has to pay £12.50 to drive, like, anywhere near to a city because, you know, the climate. It's so hypocritical. It is so ridiculous, and I'm so sick of people like you and I having to suffer as a result of these morons who all get together with their beautiful... Do you know what? Do you know, I went to Live Earth. Do you remember Live Earth, that ridiculous concert, right? Live Earth, the big concert. It was a few years ago now. It was held in Wembley Stadium, and I had to sit there listening to all of these pop stars pontificating about things with their private jets parked outside and watch all of these videos about plastic pollution and the rainforest. And then I went into the stadium with my vodka and tonic, and they were like, you've got to put it in a plastic cup. I said, but hang on, why do I have to put it in a plastic cup? They said, because, you know, you have to, because of safety. So we'll use double the plastic.
I think
double
the
the
worst
plastic.
one is, though, is the World Economic Forum, where I think last year they had so many private jets landing, they had to divert commercial aircraft travelling across the same airspace. And what did we get out of that?
I think the real sin that we've passed over there is that Christo drinks vodka and tonic. It's not a classic pairing.
Tonic. Yeah. It's a beautiful... It's a very masculine drink, thank you very much indeed.
It's the lowest calorie drink on the market, I think.
which you can tell. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. OK, brilliant stuff so far. Thank you very much. We've got a lot more coming your way. A little bit of this.
Aged, pregnant people, women, and those with pre-existing health conditions need to take precautions.
Well, if you want to find out the latest scandal about the BBC, you're going to have to stay right where you are.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GBNews Travel Destinations Forecast.
An unsettled weekend to come for central parts of the Med, although Spain and Portugal will get away with plenty of sunshine. It's going to be breezy through the Canary Islands as well as Madeira, a few showers here. Less breezy for Portugal and much of Spain, but we continue to see a strong wind through eastern parts of Spain, wrapped around a low that's going to bring some heavy rain to the Balearics, and then as that moves east, it's going to bring further wet weather to Italy as well as Greece during Sunday and into the start of next week.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GBNews Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to your latest GB News weather update brought to you from the Met Office. Rain will continue its journey eastwards overnight tonight. A little bit colder this evening in the west, but mist and fog likely for many rural areas. We've got low pressure in charge, swinging in frontal areas, which will bring some rain through the next couple of days, particularly through this evening across central areas. After a fairly bright day, it will turn much cloudier this evening across the north and east, with some drizzly rain likely overnight. Now, it'll clear up across western areas. That could allow some mist and fog to develop, but it will also allow the temperatures to fall away a little bit lower than they have done lately, down into the single figures, particularly across the far southwest of England, Wales and parts of Northern Ireland as well. Now, where the rain is still lingering tomorrow morning across northern areas of Scotland in particular, it will be a bit of a murky start to the day, so a bit of a different feel tomorrow morning compared to today. Some mist and fog around, particularly over the hills and across coastal areas too. Further south across parts of northern England, there will be some brighter spells, but still some mist and fog first thing, and it's across the south and west parts of Wales as well, but we'll see the best of the sunshine first thing on Saturday. That's not to say there won't be sunshine elsewhere throughout the weekend. Saturday is actually looking fairly dry and bright once that cloud does lift up after first thing. So plenty of sunshine to come. The cloud will come and go, but it will still feel fairly pleasant out there as the winds are relatively light, particularly across eastern areas of the country. So temperatures climbing to around 13, 14 14 or 15 degrees, a little bit cooler than it has been lately, but still fairly mild for the time of year. And that could allow, with clear skies, temperatures to fall away to allow a grass frost across the east on Sunday morning. But elsewhere, the next batch of wet weather across the west will arrive through Sunday, bringing some potentially quite spells of quite heavy rain, and that will likely become a little bit more widespread through Monday and Tuesday. And although there's a risk of frost overnight for some areas, it's staying mild by day. Bye-bye.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversations.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back, everybody. So we actually have some breaking news right now, and it does relate to the topic we were going to talk about anyway, so you'd love it when that happens. But President Donald Trump's White House has accused the BBC of, quote, purposeful dishonesty amid a row over bias at the broadcaster. So Caroline Levitt, who is the press secretary, said that British taxpayers were being forced to foot the bill for a leftist propaganda machine. That's pretty strong.
That's very
so that's actually the White House. That's happened in the last couple of minutes. They have called the BBC a leftist propaganda machine and asking whether or not we, as taxpayers, should be forced to foot the bill. The Director General is now under massive pressure, as I'm sure most people are aware. There's a series of ongoing scandals at the BBC, lying about Trump, misleading people about Hamas, well, specifically Israel, actually, by being very positive about Hamas. And also, they've decided to discipline Martine Croxall, who is apparently a presenter on that channel, because she said women instead of pregnant people. Here's the clip.
Aged pregnant people, women, and those with pre-existing health conditions need to take precautions.
Well, I must say I'm absolutely loving this audience so far, and there's a gentleman here with a white jumper on who would like to make a point straight away. Go on, sir.
Yeah, I do. I just want to say great show as always.
Oh,
really,
there you go.
really
I haven't paid him. I haven't paid him. Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah, so with the BBC in complete crisis at the moment, like complete crisis, and other news channels or channels become more and more popular, i.e. GB News.
We've still not paid him for this, by the way. He's doing all this for free. Go on, yeah.
Do we think there is a need for a fee-paying national broadcaster in the UK?
Good question. Good question. What do we... Well, fair enough. Oh, go on, I'll throw it. Go on, Linda. What do you think about the... It's a licence fee topic, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't think there should be a licence fee. I've thought there shouldn't be a licence fee for a long time, and I am in two minds as to whether that is going to be allowed to continue. I think they'll bin it sometime soon. As soon as it comes up for discussion, I think the licence fee will go. I cannot believe that it exists. I remember being in with the Bricks when Sky News launched. We had loads and loads of Australians to help us on our way because there weren't enough people with that kind of experience in this country, because it was the first time 24 News had happened. And they landed in this country at Heathrow and drove over. They could not believe that we had to pay a licence fee to watch all these channels, and all the money went to the BBC.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Especially when it turns out that they have been knowingly misleading people about what was going on with Israel and Hamas, knowingly. There's also, as well, the Trump stuff. But there's a couple of other bits and bobs, Emily, aren't there? But specifically about trans issues as well.
Absolutely. I was having a look at some of the detail from that dossier that was sent to the BBC board, which I don't believe they've commented on yet properly. But yes, just one thing firstly about Martine Croxall, who's that BBC presenter, that female BBC presenter. Her facial expression apparently expressed a controversial view about trans people. So her face, this is why she was investigated. She broke the BBC's impartiality rules. So now biology is some kind of bias. It is absolutely crazy. Everything's controversial. OK, fine. But yes, very interesting. So they've looked into how the BBC covers or fails to cover issues to do with the transgender debate and everything that goes with that. So the BBC didn't cover at all the story of the Darlington nurses. Now, that's a story that we covered a lot on this channel. They took their employer to court over a biological male using the female changing rooms at the hospital. They also failed to cover the story of a biological male police and prison officers allegedly conducting strip searches on women and girls. And they've glossed over and put the only fluffy side on things like a biologically male wrestler winning a competition with women and things like that.
Yeah.
So this is a huge issue if they're just censoring any negative type of story.
OK, Andy, your views on this?
I think two separate points here. One on the Trump kind of breaking news that he's called was it a leftist propaganda machine, was it?
Much, yeah.
I don't want to misrepresent the president there, because they clipped a speech of his on January 6th, 2021, was it? And apparently made him look more complicit and more encouraging than he was. But I think we do have to remember, on the first day of his second term in the White House, he did commute the sentence and offer a full pardon to 1,600 of those rioters. So it's clear that even though the BBC might have edited the speech, he clearly did not have an issue with his supporters rioting, attacking law enforcement, breaking into the US Congress.
This clearly, do you like Trump or not?
Clearly, I think the misrepresentation isn't that actually that bad, considering that he doesn't care about it.
I think telescope. That we used to call that in print version telescoping quotes. But actually, changing the complete meaning of a quote to the exact opposite is atrocious breach of journalistic ethics.
And I'm sorry, but the report as well, it doesn't just talk about that clip. If it was just that clip in isolation, you'd say, fine, maybe it was a rogue journalist. But actually, there was Trump made comments about the Republican critic, Liz Cheney. She campaigned for Kamala Harris to be elected. He said that she always wanted to go to war with people. That was one of the things Liz Cheney wanted to do. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her face, see how she feels about it, was the Trump quote, saying clearly, let's see how she would feel about sending people to war. And the BBC reported that Trump had said that he wants to shoot people like Liz Cheney in the face. That's not what he said. He was making a comment about
the fact... I don't like Liz Cheney. I don't know why I'm...
No, he didn't say that. They also criticised the US election coverage more broadly, saying that actually they always spoke about the polls that favoured Kamala Harris and not favouring Trump. They misrepresented quotes about racism separately, not about
They
Trump.
said car insurance. BBC Verified did a whole report on how car insurance
is racist,
and it turned out it was rubbish. I nearly swore then. It was rubbish. They said it was racist. They used data that was out of date. It was like 9 years ago as well. Can I just hold up something as well, because there's another scandal that's happened. The BBC gender correspondent tried to block coverage of trans criticism. Firstly, you are all paying for the BBC to employ a gender correspondent. Second, that's one scandal, isn't it? Then they are blocking coverage of trans
Didn't she try to coerce producers on a team at the BBC not to produce a story that they were working on because it didn't suit her particular...
Well, there you go.
Can you imagine putting your hand up in that room and saying, well, actually, can we cover this story about the Darlington nurses? You'd be too afraid. You'd be slapped down.
Well, the LGBT desk who supplied the reporters were refusing to give reporters to the news channels. Also, the other quick thing as well was that you get push notifications to your phone when you want to get news. You can opt into them. They found that the push notifications were there's an accusation that they're biased, so they only give you pro-immigration stories rather than anti-ones. And so all of those things make it a lack of trust, and they're going to hang themselves because of the licence fee.
Just quickly, Andy, sorry, on the Martine Croxall stuff being punished for basically pulling a face about pregnant people. Do you think it was right that she got punished for that? Or?
I think it's probably... I mean, actually, Linda said this earlier. I think it's a bit unprofessional to bring, your backroom conversations out into the public. I think if she had an issue with it, like Linda said, raise it with the management, raise it with the producers off screen. I don't think it's something you do on screen, particularly on the national broadcaster.
Yeah, because to be very clear, I'm talking about a newsreader. Now, the newsreader has to be very objective, and they also... I did it for 5 years at Sky News, so I would have got a rap over the knuckles for that, I can tell you. I'm not talking about the host of a programme that is supposed to take a position, supposed to do something.
But maybe she thought pregnant women was the proper term.
She might have done, but
So
that's...
it's more the...
But all I'm saying is, no, she can feel that way
Yeah.
if she wants, but if she has a point to make, I don't believe in making it in front of the viewers. She should have pulled the producer to one side after the bulletin was over.
We are going to... Sorry about this, guys. We're way over, but I'll say I feel very lucky that I work at a news channel where I'm basically allowed to say whatever I want, actually, so that's good, isn't it? But a BBC spokesperson told GB News, well, we don't comment on leaked documents. When the BBC receives feedback, it takes it seriously and considers it carefully. Michael Prescott is a former advisor to the board committee where differing views and opinions of our coverage are routinely discussed and debated. And on Trump's fake news accusations, the BBC has said it does not comment on leaks and that it considers feedback carefully. Oh, good more. The BBC's Executive Complaints Unit said, giving the strong impression of expressing a personal view on a controversial matter, even if inadvertently, falls short of the BBC's expectations of its presenters. They want to be impartial and all of that stuff, basically. Right, OK. Loads more on. A bit of this.
Every match that the barbaric Israeli establishment or their teams are at, we will be at. Takbir!
Yes, Alan Akbar was playing up front for Aston Villa last night, apparently. They were all outside, very happy he was there. I think he scored a couple of goals, so that's nice, you know. Great stuff. But, yeah, hundreds of pro-Palestine protesters gathered outside Villa Park. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that and much more.
I'm Michelle Dewberry. This is Jubes & Co. with you until 7.
Hello, everyone. Patrick Christys here.
GB News, Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits. You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
And
say,
now you've lost it. That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless. But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Welcome Welcome back. Now, hundreds of protesters gathered outside Villa Park in Birmingham last night ahead of the widely anticipated Europa League clash between Aston Villa and Maccabi Tel Aviv. Well, there were 700 police officers deployed. They made 11 arrests, and some demonstrators were heard chanting things like death to the IDF, waving Palestinian flags. West Midlands Police obviously decided to ban the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. I mean, there were also things that we heard out there. You've all seen the clips by now, you know, chants of Allahu Akbar, all of that stuff, ridiculous. I'm going to go straight to this chap on the front row. And what would you like to say about this, sir?
I just can't believe that anybody in authority would think it'd be a good idea to allow protests like that to go on at a football game. You know, it's unbelievable. There's a powder keg always going to happen. And not only did they put the general public at risk, they also put their officers at risk. Look at them. None of them had any riot gear on at all, just a normal uniform.
I think that was very interesting. So firstly, I couldn't believe they'd allowed it right outside the ground. And you're right. I could be wrong, I don't know, but I didn't see any, like, police dogs. I didn't see a lot of riot gear. And I wonder why. I wonder whether or not they didn't want to seem as though they were intimidating the pro-Palestinians.
Two rival football teams, they're in full riot gear, you kept streets apart.
Of course you are. Yeah, but bonkers, isn't it?
Right to the front line.
Yeah, no, good stuff. Go on, Andy, what do you make of chants of Allahu Akbar and all that stuff going on outside the ground?
I don't really care about the chants of Allahu Akbar, to be honest. I think it's probably stupid that they were kept so close to each other, not even like other sides of the stadium. Like even that, you know, like you said, I've been on away days where you're not even allowed to walk down the same street. You can go into a train station at the wrong time and you'll get a dispersal order and you're stuck in a city. I think, you know, on those 11 arrests, a lot of these were for racially aggravated abuse against police officers, against protesters. Someone tried to throw fireworks into the ground.
But these are supposed to be Aston Villa fans. This is what they were...
Well, no, so a lot of them were on the counter-protest side to the Palestinian people.
But there wasn't really a counter-protest. What happened was actual Aston Villa fans turned up to go to the football match and started saying to the pro-Palestinian lot, we don't really want you here. And they get, so all of that lot had claimed that, oh, we're big, we really care about Aston Villa. We care about Aston Villa. You know, they don't care about Aston Villa.
There were a few counter-protesters, and reports are that they got sort of penned in.
That's right.
Well, they were in a basketball court.
People calling it a Jew cage.
They were in a basketball court.
I'm sorry, it's pretty intimidating, and I do think that a lot of Jewish people will have very much wanted to avoid Birmingham that evening, and particularly around there. You know, you've got to look at this from the perspective of someone who might be very deeply troubled by what they're seeing, the sectarianism on the rise in this country. Yeah. This is just a snapshot of what's going on. Yeah. The fans weren't even allowed at the match anyway.
Yeah, and that's my point.
What were they protesting?
The beautiful game, our beautiful game, being disrupted in this way, and this kind of toxic, violent behaviour on our streets, that's what I find unacceptable. Okay. I mean, I understand all the arguments, but we need peace on our streets.
Right. Yeah. OK, well, look, we've got... Sorry, we're going to have to go. Well done, though. Great hour. Brilliant. Well, on that note, when we come back, have we let our brave veterans down?
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to your latest GB News weather update brought to you from the Met Office. Rain will continue its journey eastwards overnight tonight. A little bit colder this evening in the west, but mist and fog likely for many rural areas. We've got low pressure in charge, swinging in frontal areas, which will bring some rain through the next couple of days, particularly through this evening across central areas. After a fairly bright day, it will turn much cloudier this evening across the north and east, with some drizzly rain likely overnight. Now, it'll clear up across western areas. That could allow some mist and fog to develop, but it will also allow the temperatures to fall away a little bit lower than they have done lately, down into the single figures, particularly across the far southwest of England, Wales and parts of Northern Ireland as well. Now, where the rain is still lingering tomorrow morning across northern areas of Scotland in particular, it will be a bit of a murky start to the day, so a bit of a different feel tomorrow morning compared to today. Some mist and fog around, particularly over the hills and across coastal areas too. Further south across parts of northern England, there will be some brighter spells, but still some mist and fog first thing, and it's across the south and west parts of Wales as well, but we'll see the best of the sunshine first thing on Saturday. That's not to say there won't be sunshine elsewhere throughout the weekend. Saturday is actually looking fairly dry and bright once that cloud does lift up after first thing. So plenty of sunshine to come. The cloud will come and go, but it will still feel fairly pleasant out there as the winds are relatively light, particularly across eastern areas of the country. So temperatures climbing to around 13, 14 14 or 15 degrees, a little bit cooler than it has been lately, but still fairly mild for the time of year. And that could allow, with clear skies, temperatures to fall away to allow a grass frost across the east on Sunday morning. But elsewhere, the next batch of wet weather across the west will arrive through Sunday, bringing some potentially quite spells of quite heavy rain, and that will likely become a little bit more widespread through Monday and Tuesday. And although there's a risk of frost overnight for some areas, it's staying mild by day. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
We could be delivering the perfect Christmas to you this year. There's £30,000 in tax-free cash to make 2026 the best year yet. A further £10,000 cash to spend on gifts for all the family. There's £1,000 to spend in your favourite supermarket. And a festively themed GB News goodie bag. And we'll get it all to you in time for the big day. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB17 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 28th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Good, brilliant. All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'm absolutely loving it tonight. It's 10 p.m, I'm Patrick Christys. Tonight,
I can see in my mind's eye there were rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what?
Look, it's an absolutely heartbreaking trip, that. It really is. I mean, have we let our veterans down? Was this version of Britain fighting for? Do you think we've let our veterans down? Yeah. All right. Well, let's really spend a bit of time on that. Also,
if anything happens, protection.
All right, good news, everybody, good news. That Algerian sex offender, he's been caught. Yay! Way! Fantastic. The bad news is we found out that there's 4 others on the loose, so that's terrible. But surely this guy's got to go. I could watch that all night. Also this evening...
So the UK is doubling down on the fight against climate change.
Right, OK, does anyone in here particularly care about this climate conference that we've sent about 500 people to at your expense? No, didn't think so. No. And remember, this was just a dangerous conspiracy theory.
I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law.
OK, to Sharia law, so it's not actually happening. Well,
good morning, Smoothies. How are you? Adil Ray here.
yes, Adil Ray there, a Good Morning Britain presenter who has just praised Sharia law. And speaking of Sharia law...
We must that the barbaric Israeli establishment or their teams are up. We will be up. Takbir!
Ah, yes, and of course, every time we go to Aston Villa, you hear it on the terraces, don't you? That famous Aston Villa chant of Allahu Akbar that rings out around the ground. And
aged, pregnant people, women, and those with pre-existing health conditions need to take precautions.
Well, yeah, she's been disciplined just for stating biological fact. Also, now, this is a story that is a GB News exclusive that we're going to be doing shortly, and we can reveal the shocking amount of legal aid that you, British taxpayers, paid for an Asian grooming gang who raped and abused teenage girls in Rochdale. Horrific story, but of course, they keep happening. And there are, of course, Donald Trump, by the way, in the last few minutes has decided to call the BBC a leftist propaganda machine, so we'll be monitoring the situation stateside. But let me get to my panel. We have got broadcasting royalty Christo Fufas. Journalist and broadcaster Linda Jubilee. Trade unionist political commentator Andy Twelves. Oh, it's got better. You're winning them round. But of course, we have a very, very special panellist tonight, making a glorious return, Emily Carver. All right, get ready, Britain. Here we go. Was this version of Britain really worth fighting for? Next.
Patrick, thank you very much. The top stories, as you've just been hearing, the White House has accused the BBC of purposeful dishonesty amid a row over bias at the broadcaster. It launched its attack over the way the corporation selectively edited a speech made by the president, dismissing it as 100% fake news. British taxpayers were being, quote, forced to foot the bill for a leftist propaganda machine. That's what Caroline Leavitt said. That's Mr Trump's press secretary. She delivered the verdict after the Telegraph disclosed that a panorama documentary had spliced together different parts of a speech made by the US president, made it seem as though he'd told supporters to go to the Capitol and fight like hell on the day of the 2021 riot. A foreign sex offender freed in error from Wandsworth Prison has been rearrested. Brahim Kadour Sharif, a 24-year-old Algerian national, was mistakenly released from HMP Wandsworth in South London on the 29th of October. Brahim Kadour Sharif had been convicted in November last year of indecent exposure relating to an incident in March of that year. ITV News is saying there are reportedly currently 4 more live cases of prisoners being sought by the authorities in England and Wales after being released in error. Earlier today, the Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy said he's ordered new tough release checks, commissioned an independent investigation into systemic failures and begun overhauling archaic paper-based systems still used in some prisons. However, Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch told GB News she is not confident the streets are safe.
Yes, it's complete nonsense. They blame everybody else except themselves. They are in charge right now. If someone was released last week by accident, it's their fault. It's not the fault of the people who were there 2 years ago. And right now, what I actually want to see is this man deported. We're spending too much money keeping foreign prisoners in our jails. Our party's policy now is just deport all foreign criminals. No ifs, no buts.
In other news, GB News can reveal that more than 1,100 small boat migrants have crossed the English Channel since yesterday morning. It takes the total for the year so far to 38,000. Throughout yesterday, 610 migrants had arrived in UK waters and were taken to Border Force Processing Centre at Dover Harbour. According to GB News' provisional figures, 520 made the journey and the arrival today. It takes the figure since yesterday morning to 1,130. And Rachel Reeves has reportedly informed the spending watchdog that she intends to raise income tax. That's as splits are emerging at the top of Labour over whether to raise taxes as pressure grows ahead of the budget later on this month. Deputy Leader Lucy Powell has warned that breaking Labour's manifesto pledge not to increase income tax, national insurance or VAT could damage trust in politics. Those are the latest headlines. For now, more in an hour.
Take the GB News family with you on any device. As long as you have an internet connection, tune into GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond.
Well, welcome along to my wonderful live studio audience and everybody who's watching and listening at home. Now, like many of you, today I saw a clip that absolutely broke my heart.
I can see in my mind's eye there was rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now.
She said the sacrifice that him and so many other people made was not worth the country that we've got. Now, that's Alec, by the way. He's 100 years old. I want to tell you a little bit about Alec. So he joined the Royal Navy after promising his father that he wouldn't fight in the trenches because his dad saw the absolute horrors of trench warfare during World War I. He took part in the Arctic convoys to Russia several times, by the way. He played a vital role during the D-Day landings. The man is an absolute hero, and I think let's just give him a round of applause. And then, of course, Adil Ray, the man who has just come out praising the virtues of Sharia law, decided to press him a little bit further, didn't he?
What do you mean by that, though?
What we fought for, and what we fought for was our freedom. We find that even now it's darn sight worse than what it was when I fought for it.
I mean, honestly, what do you mean by that, though? What do you mean? We all know what he means, Adil. We all don't you all know? Right? It's blindingly obvious. In fact, we're going to talk about it. Maybe we should tell Adil a little bit later on, actually. But look, Alex served on D-Day, like I said, and in the last 24 hours, bear in mind we're talking about a D-Day veteran there. In the last 24 hours, 1,000 illegal immigrants have crossed the English Channel.
Are you scared? You have
no, I'm not scared. No?
How long have you been in France?
I 7 years in France.
7 years?
5 years prison.
He may have been in prison, but these Iraqi Kurds think freedom lies just over the channel.
That bloke said he spent 5 years in a French prison. 5 years in a French prison, and then he's here now. So, nice hotel room soon, probably ready for a life on benefits. A Home Office whistleblower revealed the other day that they are allegedly punished for refusing asylum to people like an Afghan man who has been repeatedly arrested for exposing himself in a children's play park. Heroes like Alec fought, in many cases sadly died, so that idiots like David Lammy can stand in Parliament and demand reparations. People are being banged up for social media posts. Heroes like Alec fought so that we could hand Britain over to this mob.
Every match that the barbaric Israeli establishment or their teams are at, we will be at. Takbir!
It honestly makes me sick. It makes me sick. I want to say thank you, Alec. I want to say thank you for everything, and I want to say thank you to all the brave men and women who lost their lives to fight for Britain. And I want to tell you that I am so sorry that we let you down. Let's get the views of my panel. And there's a lady on the front row, I think, who might like to make a little point. Is that all right if we could start with you? What would you like to say about this?
Bearing in mind it's Remembrance Sunday this week, and
I had a granddad that fought in the First World War. He was in the trenches. I had uncles that was in the Second World War.
Yeah.
And they didn't speak about it because it was horrific. And I think it's a disgrace.
Just hold that mic closer.
Successive governments have failed to support veterans in this country going decades. And they still do. And they let these fighting-age men illegally come here and they put them up in luxury accommodation while we've got veterans who get nothing and are sleeping on the streets.
Oh, OK. Well, we will do. I'll come to you in a second, mate, if that's right. Because look, we've got a veteran here who happens to be sitting on the front row as well. So I want to hear from you in a second, if that's OK. I'm just going to go to my panel first. Emily, when Adil Ray's going, what do you mean by that? What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, the cynic in me thinks he was trying to go for a gotcha moment there. Was trying to get the veteran to say something that he could then slap down, perhaps something about multiculturalism or something, I don't know. Maybe. But I was thinking about what he might mean. I mean, incompetent governments, people arrested for speech, reckless immigration policies, veterans living on the streets, not being given mental health support. We've got illegal immigrants in our military barracks, don't we, at the moment?
Yeah.
Growing sectarianism on our streets, as we've seen today, lack of national unity, lack of pride in our culture and our history, millions of people on out-of-work benefits. I mean, the list goes on of how many things are disappointing about this country. And some of the surveys recently about young people, half of Gen Z think this country is just a racist country. Only 11% say they would ever be willing to fight for this country. We're in a dire straits, really, if that's the truth. But I am still proud of my country, and I hope there are lots of young people who won't feel this way for too much longer, at least.
We want to make it better, don't we? Christys, what do you think that our friend Alec, that brave veteran there, meant, when he said it wasn't worth fighting for? What do you think?
Do you know, I watched that clip this afternoon and I cried. I was just sitting on my bed, when it flashes up, and I cried because I think it's so tragic, because if you just think about what he said before that, about the rows of white stones and the hundreds of my friends who gave their lives. Imagine being that man, imagine seeing and thinking about all of the friends that had died, and it was for nothing. It's tragic. And what I think he meant was a lack of common culture, a lack of common pride. I think the fact that we have become a multicultural nation. There have been some advantages to that, without a doubt, but you need to have a common culture, a common purpose. You all need to be pulling in the same direction. And people like him who fought for this country because they were proud would now probably be called racist, far right, and also the pride that we used to have in this country, and I don't just mean the pride as in being able to wave a flag, I mean the pride of allowing the older person to get on the bus, making sure that there isn't litter on the streets, being able to walk home late at night and do so because you feel that you're safe enough to do so. Having a bit of money at the end of the week so you can go and have a treat with your family. That's, I think, the kind of pride that he was talking about, and the kind of pride that we no longer have. And it absolutely breaks my heart to think that he was talking about friends of his that died, and he thinks it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the front row, if you don't mind, so would you be okay to just tell us a little bit of where you served, what that involved?
Well, I served in the armed forces, as you know. What I said earlier. But the thing that's really getting my goat at the moment, more than anything, and I think it's an absolute disgrace, is the fact that they're putting these immigrants into our ex-army camps where people's fathers and all that trained for the First World War, for the Second World War. They trained in them barracks, and now they're putting the migrants in. I think that's an absolute disgrace, and I think it's disrespectful to the people who served.
Can I just ask you as well, sir, because some of the charity groups as well, they like to say things like those barracks aren't fit to house some of the people who've just come across the channel, but they were obviously good enough to train and to house people who we thought were good enough to go out and send out to war and face the gunfire and face the horrors of trench warfare and all of that. I wonder how that makes you feel when you hear that those barracks aren't good enough.
Well, they were good enough for us. Do you know what I mean? They weren't the best, but they were good enough for us and it did the job.
Well, look, thank you, by the way, for everything that you've done for your service and all of that. When you hear what that gentleman said there, the old boy, Alex, there, 100 years old he is, can you understand where he's coming from then? Yeah,
I understand that. And I think it's just so sad seeing him like that. You know what I mean? How he was feeling, how that makes him feel. And like the thousands, hundreds of thousands that were lost for our freedom and things like that, and then this country's now becoming that.
Do you feel like it was worth it? Do you feel like what you did was...
No, I'm ashamed to have served in the country. To be honest with you, that's how it makes me feel, the way it's going at the moment.
Why?
Because it's just... They're just letting anybody in that are just, like... I don't know, they're paedophiles and all sorts into this country, and they're getting so much more than what the British people are getting for the people, and the British people are what that man's put their lives on the line for in the First, Second World Wars and things like that, and it's just a disgrace.
Can I just say, don't feel foolish, don't regret it because you did something amazing for us. Please don't.
That's how the country at the moment is making.
And I know, and I get it, but don't let it tie you down. Don't get wrapped up in it because you did something amazing for us. You did something amazing.
We have to sort this out. It is a national disgrace if we've got veterans of two different generations, possibly three different generations between you and him, who are feeling like this. That is a national disgrace. Chap with his hand up at the back. We'll try and get a microphone to you, but in the meantime, Linda, yes.
So this is a kind of tale of two towns, and it's only just occurred to me. This morning I went over because I was helping a family member. Actually, it sounds a bit gruesome, but bury my mother's ashes. She died a year ago into my father's grave. Anyway, I was talking to the family member and he said on Sunday morning we are expecting a very big protest here because all of the airport hotels house the migrants. There's possibly 2,500 migrants in that area. We're expecting a very big protest down the main road. Now, that is in stark contrast to the town where I live on the Thames, where I'm telling you there will not be a gap. We will be shoulder to shoulder through the whole of the town centre, as we are every year. When they play the bagpipes, we've got the Navy, the Army, the right down to the Air Sea Rescue, the Cub Scouts, the Girl Guides. And the saddest moment is when they read all the names from those who were left in the First World War and the Second World War, and you hear the same surname 4 times. That's when you know how a town suffers. But it's the comparison between two areas that I think he is talking about. And I don't want to name the family member, but he said we just don't know what to do. They get their money on a certain day every week from the government. They get a certain amount of money, and they're out in the town spending it, you know, as they would, but it's very difficult for us to deal with when there are just such huge numbers. It's really, really difficult. May I just say, I'm so proud of you. I went to a school where we lost many of our sixth form boys in the First World War, not the teachers, boys. And the Second World War, we always took people to the poppy fields of northern France as our school trip. And my mother's late partner, who died in COVID, was awarded the Légion d'honneur for his part in the D-Day landings because he helped build the smokescreen to get our guys ashore in safety. So I feel really, really strongly about this. And that guy, you know, on television, speaking like that, it is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking.
Absolutely. It's also a reality check now. People need to wake up to this because that is a common view that guy had. We need to do. There is a gentleman at the back. Now, I'm being told, sir, that you are also a veteran. Is that correct? Is it someone? Oh, someone. Oh, you're there. Sorry, hello.
Patrick.
How are you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you.
I'm just giving someone else your honour there, but there we go.
You can go on it.
Yeah, of course. So what would you like to say about this? Thank you for
I'm David from South Wales originally, ex-soldier, ex-Royal Engineer, to be precise.
Well done, mate.
Fought out in several different campaigns, First Gulf War and back to Iraq and on another tour. What I have noticed coming out, a lot of the soldiers aren't supported enough as they're leaving to join Civvy Street. A lot of them are finding hard times. They end up on the streets. They can't cope with mental illness, alcohol, drug addictions, etc. And like the ladies at the front said there, you've got all these immigrants coming in, getting all the best welfare facilities, benefits, and our veterans are just left on the street. And then they're wondering, was it all worth it? You know, we've gone to war for this country, fought for other countries even around the world, and is it worth it?
OK, hold on, mate. Thank you very much. Just quickly, and I'm sorry about this, I just want to quick note to the production. I think we're going to go over a bit here, so I'm sorry. But, oh, go on. I was going to ask, sorry, do you mind? I was just going to ask this gentleman if you regretted serving at all, and then we'll go to him quickly. Go on. Would you regret it?
Not at all, no.
Right.
No, didn't regret it.
OK, fair enough. And so, sorry, sir, I'll finally come to you. Yes, go on. Go on.
First one is, you said that your introduction there, is this the country that we want to defend and fight for? Maybe not. Do we want to fight for Britain? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We must. And that's what we're here for. Ladies and gentlemen here, I've come from West Wales. It's quite a difficult weekend for me, Remembrance Weekend. Right. I've lost a few friends. 24th of October 1990, look it up, Blancrana Road in Derry. Okay. Patsy Gillespie and members of the King's Regiment. Friend of mine in Iraq, Corporal Hamilton Jewell as well, lost him as well. However, I would do it again. I believe in freedom, democracy, and the right for you to question me, and the right for all of us to be here, and we can have different opinions and debate them respectfully. And that is what is worth fighting for.
Yeah, good for you, mate.
Thank you.
Just quickly, and then last comment. Well done. Sorry. I wasn't trying to rush over us. I'm trying to fit everyone in. Yes, go on quickly. That's all right. That's all right. Stand up.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Very quick question. Thank you, everyone in this room, for their service, for those that have served. But also, looking ahead to the future, when is the government going to modernise the current medical grounds for entry into the forces? I would love to serve for this country. Unfortunately, I'm barred from the medical grounds currently. However, I feel myself and many other people in this country would be very, very good advocates, and we would be able to fight. But unfortunately, the grounds currently do not allow me to do so. So I feel like we need to look forward. We need to learn from our past, respect everyone, what everyone has done for us, but also we need to modernise our current medical guidance.
Well, we need people as well. We need people who are actually willing to fight. I think, you know, basically.
That's the other thing. That's like kind of it, yeah.
That's all right. Well, thank you. Right, thank you, everybody. Andy, I'll give you the final say on this. It's been a fantastic segment from the audience. Now, I really do appreciate everyone's comments. What would you like to say?
I think extremely touching to hear those stories, and to be honest, I think I speak for the panel and the wider audience that we'd rather listen to you guys and your real stories than me pontificate and blag. I think I'll start with saying I think that veterans have been failed by successive governments, Labour and Tory, even the coalition government, for years and years and years. I think a lot of those veterans who do find themselves on the streets or on hard times have quite complex needs. And successive governments have designated those former barracks and those hotels as not being suitable for long-term accommodation and a long-term transition back into whatever a more normal life would look like. I think the solution there is not to necessarily kick off at the migrants in those hotels or those barracks, but make sure that we focus on creating positive long-term solutions for those veterans.
OK,
to be honest.
Just to look ahead, though, I mean, we know what's going to happen when they say they're closing the hotels. They're all going to be moved into housing, right? So, again, it's, OK, one thing, maybe those hotels aren't suitable for long-term needs.
Staying in the military barracks are going to end up fighting for this country. They're going to put their
probably
lives on the
not.
line for this
Probably not. No, and that's why we need to make sure.
Well,
we do need to make sure that we have suitable accommodation and suitable pathways to get them back into a more normal life.
I feel like a little bit we're missing the point. I don't feel like that Alec was talking about sort of the needs of the military when they leave the military, as important as they were. I feel like he was talking about the country that he fought for that we've lost, and that we don't have that country anymore.
On that note, a Home Office spokesperson has said, in regards to a whistleblower claiming that migrants are given asylum despite being accused of sexual offences, they've just given us this. We take all allegations very seriously. We're committed to addressing any concerns appropriately. However, we do not accept the characterisation of those concerns expressed. The integrity of the UK immigration system is paramount, and they have a robust system and safeguards in play as well. And there we go. Right, OK. So, next, I have got a GBNews exclusive for you, actually, and it is quite astonishing details about the amount of legal aid that you have been paying for some of these grooming gang monsters. That's next. All right.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
I'm Jacob Rees-Mogg, and this is GB News, Britain's news channel.
I'm Nigel Farage, and this is GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I'm Tom Harwood. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
12,000 men die a year from prostate cancer. I think that's the fact that a lot of people don't realise in the first place, which is scary. But the potential life-saving trial that's been found will allow... Well, there's a study that shows 162,000 men. That could be reduced by 13%. So I think the one thing that's really interesting with prostate cancer is how hard it is actually to get the test. And I think that's one thing. A lot of people are scared to take it, I find. And it's kind of these stats that it's information getting out there.
Yeah, I think you are entitled to it over 50.
You're entitled
to it.
It's a battle. It's a postcode lottery. You know, I'd know men who said, I wanted to get the test. I went to my GP. They said I couldn't have it. They had to really fight for it. And, of course, like any cancer, catching it early is crucial. I had breast cancer 7 years ago. I was so lucky, caught at my very first mammogram, and I'm still here.
Yeah, I had to fight for it. I had one when I turned 50. And because I just said, I'm entitled to it, I want one. And I really, really had to push, and that's not because a lot of people won't do that.
I think it's the opportunity, as you're saying, like, if you have the opportunity to catch something early, like, people will take it. But the thing is, like, sometimes people don't even know about these things. And I think it's about having the opportunity. It's kind of like, OK, reach out, allow people to make that decision themselves. Do they want to find out? Because people will take it, like, 100%.
No, of course.
Make it easy, make it available.
GB News, the People's Channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
From the audience in that last segment. Let's see what we've got here. It's a GB News exclusive, actually, and it's one of those grooming gangs again, I'm afraid, who've raped and abused teenage girls in Rochdale. It turns out they've been awarded more than £1.3 million in taxpayer-funded legal aid. The gang launched a 5-year reign of terror in Greater Manchester. Unfortunately, they were known to have passed victims around for sex, preyed on them in squalid flats, car parks, etc. They groomed 2 girls from the age of 13 and made them their sex slaves by plying them with gifts, including alcohol and drugs. And last month, they were jailed for a combined total of 174 years. But a Freedom of Information request has revealed that shocking amount of legal aid. We've got Mohammed Zahid, who got more than £350,000 in legal aid. Mushtaq Ahmed, 163 grand. Kasir Bashir, 35.5 grand. Mohammed Shahzad, 70,787 quid. We've got Naheem Akram, 509 grand. They are Nisa Hussain, just shy of 100 grand. Raheez Khan, just over 100 grand. In total, 7 convicted men were awarded that figure of more than £1.3 million in taxpayer-funded legal aid. 3 of them appealed their convictions, meaning that the amount paid is actually set to increase as well, because you'll be paying for their legal representation when they go to court next time. And I want to know what people think about this, whether or not we should really be giving legal aid to these people. There is a lady on the front row who's got a microphone. What would you like to say about this?
Oh, yeah. So what I want to say, I think we have a massive issue with human rights lawyers. I think human rights lawyers are rinsing our taxpayers' money and getting them legal aid. So I think it's about time we got our own human rights lawyers under our system, not their system, and stop using our taxpayers' money and our legal aid to fund them. How can you have a bill like that? Where is that money going to?
We should cap it. I mean, do you think there's... I mean, so they're appealing. So should it be like, at minimum, like you're made to pay for your own appeal or something?
No, they shouldn't get any legal aid. But I think that bill is going up from the human rights lawyers fighting, appealing. How many times do they keep appealing?
Yeah, there are so many firms out there. I mean, just Google legal aid, immigration lawyers. You'll find hundreds and hundreds across the country. These lawyers are very happy to try and get as much money as they can for your case and to try and pursue it ongoing. It's why it's so impossible to deport anyone, even when they're a convicted sex offender or a paedophile. For some reason, we can't do that in this country, and there is a huge legal system. I wonder how much the industry is worth in this country of immigration lawyers and human rights lawyers and the like that don't appear to often serve the British.
Well, what do you reckon, Andy? Do you think it sticks in the craw a bit when you see this figure, 1.3 million quid for convicted child sex offenders?
I think it's important to distinguish here. These aren't specialist human rights lawyers or immigration lawyers. These are criminal defence solicitors, generally speaking. I think it is absolutely important for the integrity of our legal system so that the bad guys getting put away and people aren't getting framed for anything across all cases, rapists, paedophiles, terrorists, whatever, that there is a standard and a gold standard legal defence either way, so then they can't appeal, so then they can't get out on technicalities. So I do think legal aid is an extremely important part of our legal system, even if it is for awful, evil people like that. I think they do have a right to have that legal defence. They can't get off, they can't appeal it.
Yeah, I just wonder if it should be capped, though. You know, Linda, it seems like some of those figures there you're throwing around, one guy got $500,000, you know, half a bar.
That's a huge figure, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I don't know quite what you do about this, because I can see what the principle is here. But when you think about these guys, I'm not sure if there was a woman in one of these gangs. I'm not sure if there were 2 gangs recently that were jailed for, you know, decades. I think it's the crime is so horrendous, the raping of these young girls and these girls being passed around, just, it makes you so furious that not only do we take decades to get these people to court, then we get them to court, then we struggle to get a conviction, and then we have to pay all this money to make sure they go down. We certainly shouldn't be paying for the appeal.
No, and I think as well, if they've got any assets, they should have to sell them and then pay for their legal fees.
Yeah.
There was one...
The thing is...
Let me say that when you've got, like I had, and sadly they're gone now, but ageing parents who you know will have to sell their homes until there is almost nothing left to pay for their care, why would you not penalise these people in the same way? Everything they have.
Well, what you just showed, there's your answer, isn't it? That's what we've lost. That's what Alec was talking about, right? I mean, if you were Alec, that poor veteran watching the news and seeing things like that, you'd say, well, is that the country that I fought for? So, firstly, that's your answer. The problem is, and I'm not going all soft here, but the problem is if you don't, the system needs changing, because if you don't give, I think you actually nailed it, it's the system that's the problem, because if you don't give people the fair amount of legal aid that everyone is entitled to, then they have cause to come back and say, well, actually, hang on, that person got legal aid, I didn't, my conviction isn't fair, and that's how they end up being let out on a technicality. So as much as I loathe it, and it's awful, and there should be better means means testing, and actually legal aid is means tested. So hang on, why don't they have the means, and why are so many of the people who are convicted of these crimes actually not in a financial position
but so
to
much
pay?
of this legal aid is going to foreign nationals.
Well,
And
that,
that's
but,
the
yeah, but I think that's a different thing. I don't think these
be
are.
allowed legal aid paid for by British taxpayers. Three of these abusers were born in Pakistan.
Yeah. But are they
Would
British?
there be a solution
Are they
there
British
that doesn't involve
nationals
us
now?
paying for legal aid? Well, possibly. I don't know the details of their status, but I'm sorry. In 2023-24, £51 million of legal aid for foreign nationals paid for by us is seeking.
Well, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I agree.
Crazy.
All right. Well, yes. OK. Well, we're gonna whiz ourselves on. A legal aid agency spokesperson has said these offenders did not receive a penny of this money. Can I just clarify what they mean by this? Well, they do actually. It goes to their lawyers, right? So they're trying to say that it's not like we've given those people the money. It's gone to their lawyers, but we've still paid for it, right? Anyway, without legal representation, defendants could argue that they have not received a fair hearing, etc., etc., which is the point that our panellists made as well. Some of them anyway. Right. OK. Coming up. We're finally doing it. David Lammy, surely the game's up for an old clown show that we see there. That's it.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
An unsettled weekend to come for central parts of the Med, although Spain and Portugal will get away with plenty of sunshine. It's going to be breezy through the Canary Islands as well as Madeira, a few showers here. Less breezy for Portugal and much of Spain, but we continue to see a strong wind through eastern parts of Spain, wrapped around a low that's going to bring some heavy rain to the Balearics, and then as that moves east, it's going to bring further wet weather to Italy as well as Greece during Sunday and into the start of next week.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to your latest GB News weather update brought to you from the Met Office. Rain will continue its journey eastwards overnight tonight. A little bit colder this evening in the west, but mist and fog likely for many rural areas. We've got low pressure in charge, swinging in frontal areas, which will bring some rain through the next couple of days, particularly through this evening across central areas. After a fairly bright day, it will turn much cloudier this evening across the north and east, with some drizzly rain likely overnight. Now, it'll clear up across western areas. That could allow some mist and fog to develop, but it will also allow the temperatures to fall away a little bit lower than they have done lately, down into the single figures, particularly across the far southwest of England, Wales and parts of Northern Ireland as well. Now, where the rain is still lingering tomorrow morning across northern areas of Scotland in particular, it will be a bit of a murky start to the day, so a bit of a different feel tomorrow morning compared to today. Some mist and fog around, particularly over the hills and across coastal areas too. Further south across parts of northern England, there will be some brighter spells, but still some mist and fog first thing, and it's across the south and west parts of Wales as well, but we'll see the best of the sunshine first thing on Saturday. That's not to say there won't be sunshine elsewhere throughout the weekend. Saturday is actually looking fairly dry and bright once that cloud does lift up after first thing. So plenty of sunshine to come. The cloud will come and go, but it will still feel fairly pleasant out there as the winds are relatively light, particularly across eastern areas of the country. So temperatures climbing to around 13, 14 or 15 degrees, a little bit cooler than it has been lately, but still fairly mild for the time of year. And that could allow, with clear skies, temperatures to fall away to allow a grass frost across the east on Sunday morning. But elsewhere, the next batch of wet weather across the west will arrive through Sunday, bringing some potentially quite spells of quite heavy rain, and that will likely become a little bit more widespread through Monday and Tuesday. And although there's a risk of frost overnight for some areas, it's staying mild by day. Bye-bye.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show. It's not a bad brand. Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight on the unpredictable. What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
All right, welcome back. Thank you very much again to my audience, people from Wigan. Quite a big Welsh contingent in as well this evening, so love to see it. But remember this.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Well, the breaking news in the last half hour is that US President Donald Trump has declared war on the BBC. He's accused them now of outright lies, deceptive editing, called it fake news, and said that the BBC is a left-wing propaganda machine. So really, really strong stuff from the White House. Well, the BBC Director General, Mr Davies, is expected to write to Parliament's Culture Committee to respond to the allegations. On the Late Show Live, which is after mine, so midnight until 2 a.m. in the morning as well, apparently they might have someone on from the White House on that, so make sure that you keep it GB News here right into the early hours. But just going to the topic we were going to talk about, as we all know now, there was a rare bit of good news, which of course came after a lot of awful news, and that was that we'd accidentally released an Algerian sex monster, but now he was found wandering around Islington.
If anything happen, yo. If anything happen, protection.
All right, but David Lammy's in the firing line, and last night it emerged that some of his cabinet colleagues have now called him basically incompetent and cowardly for the way that he approached the whole thing. So, Christo, David Lammy, got to go?
Well, I mean, that footage that you showed when he was like with the sort of in the clown outfit and stuff, that wasn't doctored, was it? That is what he looks like. That's just what he wears.
Again, if we could play it again, maybe. We'll bring it up in a minute.
Okay. Do you know what? The reason he's got to go... Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I thought you were going to show doctored footage of him, but he just looks completely normal to me. I think he should go because of the absolutely appalling way he was at Prime Minister's questions this week. The arrogance that he showed, the piousness. He was so rude. When you'd think that, bearing in mind the shambles that he's presiding over, he would just have a little tiny speck of humility. There was none. That's why he's got to go.
OK. Has anyone got the microphone on this? Have I missed someone? Oh, you have. Hello, sir. How are you? What would you like to say?
Hi there. Yeah, it's just generally, really, having watched Lammy's obvious avoidance of the questions on Wednesday, I just really wonder if there's any point in PMQs at the moment. I mean, it's just they're straightforward, basic questions that are just avoided every time.
How annoying is it, seriously?
Frustrating.
It's so annoying, isn't it? Serious, basically, because everywhere. I mean, Lammy thing was an absolute car crash, wasn't it? But it is actually every week. It is just any question. They do whatever they can to not answer it, don't they?
It's not just question time. Generally speaking, politicians do not answer the question. And that is because they've all received a kind of form of media training which tells them to pivot or bridge away from the question the reporter's asking. Now, sometimes that can be quite sophisticated. It used to be quite well done. But we've given up now. They just don't answer the question.
Wasn't David Lammy also told by his advisers that to answer the question
would be suicide?
But that was after he said that he didn't know the answer. So we're still a bit confused about what
I remember one occasion when I was at ITV and we did a big story and we had to get a cabinet minister interviewed. We normally submit 10 questions and we were told, actually, he's only going to answer one.
Oh, great, that's brilliant,
and then we're going to stop. We're just going to get one answer, then we're going to get stopped. And the editor of the programme, Jeff Anderson at the time, said, no, we're not going. We'll drop the interview with the cabinet minister. Yeah. They have to see the whites of your eyes. And people have to make it really, really clear that they don't like listening to non-answers.
And you just, round this one off for us, and David Lammy got to go.
I don't think he's got to. I think, actually, I know the audience will hate this. I don't think this is David Lammy's fault. Because
what about the poppy?
The poppy.
Fault, wasn't it?
Oh, the poppy.
Yeah, do you think he did a good job at Prime Minister's questions?
I think the real loser what's his name, James Cartledge, is it? The Tory guy.
That's not true.
You know, in Prime Minister's questions, you get 5 questions, and they're meant to be on a range of things that you can get the government on.
But he didn't
asked
answer.
the same question 4 times.
That's why, because he had to ask 4 times.
Anyway, I think Big Dave there, you know, he's not
Do you
personally...
his suit thing? Because he gave
His suit thing. Oh, he bought a new suit, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
He bought a new
He
suit.
said he bought it that morning because his godmother was watching.
Was she
But then he
watching?
said actually he didn't buy it that morning. Because people said, why were you out shopping this morning?
Yeah,
so he just changed his mind.
Well, I mean, the suit looks nice. Yeah,
Anyway, whatever. Part of me thinks the only reason they're keeping his job is because he's the only man alive who can make Keir Starmer look good, but... Anyway, in response to the news of Brahim Kaddour Sharif, who's the Algerian sex fiend, his arrest... we've heard from David Lammy, yeah? Anyone want to do clown music? No? We inherited a prison system in crisis, and I'm appalled at the rate of releases in error this is causing. I'm determined to grip this problem, and this is why I have ordered new tough release checks, commissioned an independent investigation into systemic failures, and begun overhauling archaic paper-based systems still used in prisons. I see what you see his face on the screen there, and you think that's the man for this crisis, don't you?
That's a robust answer.
Yeah.
That's a robust answer. I think all those 3 things are very good, actually.
And whoever voted for him will be very pleased. But anyway, coming up, it's a lot of people's favourite time of the show. Time for Greatest Britain, Union Jackass. Need lots of audience participation in that, so get ready.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
The Daily Mail are going on a headline, woke guidance to tackle absenteeism, and stop asking people's questions, it makes them anxious. Now, of course it makes you anxious.
It's your job.
Yeah, so I mean, I get what they're going, and it's very easy to go with the popular view here. But I think they're not saying all pupils. They're asking to take into account that there may be, in certain sets of the classes, neurodivergent people, autistic, for whom it does make it up. So I do work with children who've been in care, and sometimes I've got people in the room who are autistic, and because I'm energetic and stuff, I've got to be very careful how I approach them. So sometimes, if I'm asking a question, I won't even look.
But Chris, I don't think that you can break up. You can sit and say, well, we've got Dawn, better not ask her that. Chris, I can't ask him this. Whatever. You know, you can't keep differentiating and cutting things up like that. I think you have to relook at what teachers are expected to do.
I think if we're preparing children for the outside world, we have to be tougher with them than we are. Now, you can't wrap them up in cotton wool. The world does not revolve around them. They have to toughen up, sorry.
And you will be asked questions in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. So are you saying then exclude them from the classroom so that you can concentrate on the main body?
But yes.
Okay. Well, okay. I mean, okay. That might be a solution. Well, so you go back to having schools that cater for.
You see, when people say questions make you anxious. Yes, I was anxious.
Yeah. We all are. I was anxious. I was anxious when I went to the track, and I was a World Cup athlete. I was still anxious when you go to the final. Yeah, we get that.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
That's an absolutely fantastic audience. Really, really good stuff. Thank you. just do Greatest Britain Union Jackass. We'll start with Greatest Britain, please. Linda, can I start with you?
Oh, yes. Well, I was struck by this because I don't know how many people would have noticed this, but the Welsh contingent will. There was a little boy near Pontypool who was at a fireworks display in a local car park, and he noticed that one of the fireworks has gone wrong and was likely to hit his little sister. So he stepped in front of the firework to protect his little sister, and the firework landed in the hood of his coat. Very sadly, he suffered very severe burns to his neck and the back of his head and his hands from trying to get it out. But he saved his little sister and he told his other brother to run. I think for 11-year-old Ollie...
Well done, Ollie.
...deserves a little bit...
OK, I'm just going to do a posthumous one to the brilliant actress who is in probably my favourite film of all time, Shirley Valentine, who died a couple of days ago, Pauline Collins.
Yes.
She was amazing, absolutely amazing.
All right. Go on, Emily, who's your Greatest Britain?
That's going to be the 100-year-old veteran that we heard from. Not just for his service, of course, but for well, how he moved us, and we knew what he meant.
Yeah.
Yes, we know what he meant, exactly. Yeah, good stuff. OK, go on then, mate.
So anyone who knows me, I'm from North Nottinghamshire, same place as Lee Anderson, and obviously Lee Anderson's not my
Different people.
Different. Wow. On the awful train attack that we saw earlier this week, there was this Nottingham Forest fan who was coming back because they've come back from an away day, Stephen Crean, who confronted the attacker, absolutely messed up his hands, got stabbed all over, and I think he's a massive hero. There's a GoFundMe going for him to look after him, get a bit of care for him, make sure he doesn't have to buy anything in Nottingham ever again. Vicky McClure's put a bit of money in, Nottingham Forest put 10 grand in, Andrew Manley, I know a regular viewer of the channel, put a bit of money in. I think he's an absolute hero and everything that being British should be about.
Oh, good stuff. Tell you what, I don't know how we're going to do tonight. We'll start with the Nottingham hero. The 100-year-old World War II vet.
I'm gonna concede to that veteran.
Could we just have another round of applause then for 11-year-old Ollie?
Yeah.
Let's rattle through Union Jackass then, Linda.
Oh, I've forgotten what I said now.
Oh, we can come back to you.
No. How could I forget? It's David Lammy.
I wish we could forget.
OK, for the horrific speech she gave this week, preparing us to U-turn on tax rises and that we're all in it together, wartime spirit, to fix the mess she's created, Rachel Reeves.
Rachel Reeves. Go on, Emily.
It's going to be Adil Ray from ITV for suggesting that a little
Good morning, Sharia.
Make things a bit nicer.
There's a little sprinkling of it, yeah, go on.
I can't remember mine. I think I'm going to get prompted in a second by the television screen.
It's Robert Jenrick!
Yeah. I can't remember why, but I think he's a bit of a mug, so there you go.
All right, well, he obviously left a lasting impression.
Oh, no, it's what he posted that video that he made that video, the clown video.
Yeah, he wants to nominate him as Union Jackass because of the clown video.
I think it's insane.
He's the greatest Britain.
I think it's nuts that a sitting member of Parliament is like making AI edits of another member of Parliament. It's wild. That's all real. That's all real TikTok.
I'll tell you what,
that's real.
Sorry. Just to play us out, should we have the clown video again? Very quickly then, who do we think's won? Union Jack. David Lammy, Union Jackass. Go.
Rachel Reeves.
Adil Ray. It's Rachel Reeves. It's not going to be David. OK, so a few seconds now. Can I just say thank you very much. This audience has been brilliant. I really appreciate you coming. Take care.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to your latest GB News weather update brought to you from the Met Office. Rain will continue its journey eastwards overnight tonight. A little bit colder this evening in the west, but mist and fog likely for many rural areas. We've got low pressure in charge, swinging in frontal areas, which will bring some rain through the next couple of days, particularly through this evening across central areas. After a fairly bright day, it will turn much cloudier this evening across the north and east, with some drizzly rain likely overnight. Now, it'll clear up across western areas. That could allow some mist and fog to develop, but it will also allow the temperatures to fall away a little bit lower than they have done lately, down into the single figures, particularly across the far southwest of England, Wales and parts of Northern Ireland as well. Now, where the rain is still lingering tomorrow morning across northern areas of Scotland in particular, it will be a bit of a murky start to the day, so a bit of a different feel tomorrow morning compared to today. Some mist and fog around, particularly over the hills and across coastal areas too. Further south across parts of northern England, there will be some brighter spells, but still some mist and fog first thing, and it's across the south and west parts of Wales as well, but we'll see the best of the sunshine first thing on Saturday. That's not to say there won't be sunshine elsewhere throughout the weekend. Saturday is actually looking fairly dry and bright once that cloud does lift up after first thing. So plenty of sunshine to come. The cloud will come and go, but it will still feel fairly pleasant out there as the winds are relatively light, particularly across eastern areas of the country. So temperatures climbing to around 13, 14 or 15 degrees, a little bit cooler than it has been lately, but still fairly mild for the time of year. And that could allow, with clear skies, temperatures to fall away to allow a grass frost across the east on Sunday morning. But elsewhere, the next batch of wet weather across the west will arrive through Sunday, bringing some potentially quite spells of quite heavy rain, and that will likely become a little bit more widespread through Monday and Tuesday. And although there's a risk of frost overnight for some areas, it's staying mild by day. Bye-bye.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
We're giving you the chance to win your entire Christmas this year paid for by us. First, we'll give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash. Then we'll give you a further £10,000 cash to spend on all your Christmas presents, even the tree. Christmas lunch, that's on us too, with £1,000 in shopping vouchers to spend at your favourite supermarket. Finally, a GB News Christmas goodie bag. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB17 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 28th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a